Hello, I am Rathi Nasaj and it is the 3rd day of July 2018. You are watching New Vision TV News around Uganda, and here we look at stories making headlines across the country. Let us kickstart off today's bulletin from Masaka District. Now, Masaka Resident District Commissioner Joe Walusimbi has stopped the National Forest Authority's operations among commercial passion fruit and pineapple farmers. The farmers are suspected to have been cutting trees from Muchuzi Central Forest Reserve. Walusimbi made the directive at Chesiga Sub-County, Masaka District, while leading the District Security Committee authorities last week to meet the affected residents, farmers, local leaders and NFA authorities. The local leaders and farmers had earlier complained that the NFA encroachment UPDF personnel had cut down passion fruit plantations where trees from Muchuzi Forest Reserve had been used as plant supports. Over 50 passion fruit farmers from Buliro, Chituga, Bulenge and Chesiga also said agents connected to NFA and the UPDF encroachment team demanded bribes in order to spare the locals from found with trees from the forest reserve. However, the Masaka UPDF Armored Brigade Public Relations Officer Major Flavia Terimurunji blamed the affected farmers for failing to present evidence that the team deployed to protect Muchuzi Forest Reserve was involved in extortion. Moving on to Katakwi District, Colonel Robert Ariko, who is attached to Ngariam Local Defense Unit Barracks in Katakwi District, has been accused of torturing 2 students. Ariko reportedly kidnapped and tortured Gabriel Odipo, 18 years, and Emmanuel Okirol, 18 years, for allegedly engaging in a sexual relationship with his daughter, Joan Agwanga, a senior 4 student at Halkion High School in Soroti District. Odio said Ariko kidnapped them on February 4th this year from Morue Village, Abela Parish in Katakwi District, while they were riding on a motorcycle back to Katakwi town. He said they had gone to a Chinese communication construction company camp to deliver photos to a customer. Odio accused the soldiers of shooting at them before Ariko allegedly ordered the soldiers to beat them up and later allegedly threw them into his vehicle boot. He said they were driving to Ngariam LDU barracks, where they were reportedly kept in cells for 3 days until police rescued them. Akirol also said the soldiers beat them up, causing bruises, back and eye injuries. We continue looking at stories making headlines across the country, but before we dwell into more stories, let us take a look at what is making headlines into this copy of the New Vision. The headlining story today is social media, government telecoms in crisis talks. We also have Rugunda blocks ministers' US trip. These are some of the stories you could read in detail when you buy your copy of the New Vision. You also have Ugandans abroad call for favorable trade laws, and then police to meet Lukwago, Bobi Wine. We have the reasons why the police is planning to meet these 2 opposition opponents in today's copy of the New Vision. We also have students, University Council discuss tuition rates. Okay, moving on to more stories making headlines. Today we have Masaka RDC halts NFA work with fruit farmers, and also authors, publishers want copyright law affected. Then soldier implicated over torture. New districts warned of extortion for employment. We have those stories in detail into this copy of the New Vision. Now, every Tuesday we have 2 pullouts. We have the oil and gas journal, and also we have her vision. The headlining story today from the oil and gas journal is registering for oil jobs starts December. Do you want to work in the oil sector? Wait for December. Hiring registration will be taking place. Now, understanding the process towards achieving commercial oil production, and also Tilenga design paves way. Tirenga design paves way for construction. These are some of the stories you could read in detail when you buy this copy of the New Vision. They're right here in the oil and gas journal. Let's move on to, we have the China story here. And today, in today's fourth winning essay, we see Priscilla Sharon Mujenyi sharing that her experience during her teaching visit in Shishan. That is in China. She has a story here and a number of pictures you could read and see when you get your copy of the New Vision. Now let's move on to her vision, also pull out what comes out every Tuesday. Her vision says mentoring women to lead. And guess who we have here? We have the leader of opposition, Winnie Kiza. There is a lot you should learn from her, and I guess you have to get it from today's copy of the New Vision. Still talking about Bride and Groom. The Bride and Groom Expo was the other weekend, and we still have what really happened there, the fashion, we have wedding gowns. So, copy of the New Vision has that for you. Let's go on to the sports docket, where I always tell you that the New Vision is your World Cup paper. It is giving you what is happening in Russia and also fixtures and the games, and then we have more analyses of what is happening from the sports gurus here in town, and also the sports editor of the New Vision, who is actually in Russia, is called Freddy Kawesi. So the headlining story in the sports docket today is a big lion. That's a headline you should watch out for. Then we have Russia comes to life, and then merrymaking day in Moscow, special Russians, and then VAR, that is VAR, in the talk of the World Cup, Russia. So you have to buy your copy of the New Vision to get more details of the stories making headlines in the sports docket, national news, regional news, and also international news. Remember, the copy of the New Vision is just 2,000 shillings, and we are proudly the leading daily. Let's move on to more stories making headlines across the country. Let's go to Zombo district, where Bernard Odong, a 73-year-old and a resident of Anyika village in Zombo district, cut down his coffee plantation, saying the earnings he got from it were not adequate enough to enable him look after his family. He said he had been forced to sell his coffee at a low price to the private buyers for years. Odong now grows bananas and yams for a living. Today, small-scale coffee farmers in Zombo sell a kilogram of coffee between 4,000 shillings and 5,000 shillings, a price Nemia Okwang, 78 years, says does not match the work put into growing the coffee. Okwanga said the situation could get better if the farmers had a strong union and the Ayuda factory is also revamped. He said in the mid-1990s and 2000s, Zombo, especially Paida town, was the business hub of the West Nile region. Okwanga said the driving force in Zombo in the past years was the now defunct Ayunda Coffee Factory, which was owned by Okoro Coffee Growers Union. Now, this story is in today's copy in detail, so grab your copy of the New Vision and read more about this story. We move on to Bukedi district, where Bukedi diocese marked Fathers Union Day with a commitment to mobilize farmers to fight against domestic violence, which they said has torn families apart. Speaking during the diocesan Fathers Union celebrations, Agre Ofono Amayo, the president of Fathers Union in Bukedi diocese, said the union's action plan this year is to address factors leading to increased cases of domestic violence. He said some of the factors were witchcraft, jealousy, and drunkenness. News from Wakiso. Nansana Municipality Mayor Regina Bakite has asked the government to upgrade some of the health centers in her area to health center 3s. Bakite said maternal death is becoming rampant in her area, something she attributed to lack of government health centers where women can access such services. She said more than 20 women have lost their lives during childbirth in private health facilities facilities since they are begun. Bakita said if the municipality gets facilities for a health center 3, women could stop going to private health facilities. That's all we had for you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch more news updates and the programs here on New Vision TV by visiting our website www.newvision.co.ug/video. I am Rethi Nasoje.